Good morning, all. Am I audible? Okay. Dr. Rachna, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible here.
Okay.
And good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Very welcome to you on behalf of the JJCT family
Thank you.
on this event,
I
Faculty
think,
Development Program.
okay, ma'am,
Yes,
I think we should wait because only 6 candidates are
yes,
participants
sir,
are here.
yes, sir, yes, sir. We can wait. Good morning to all the participants and welcome to this event, Faculty Development Program, Innovative Teaching Skills in Technical Education. Today is the fifth session of this FTP. We can wait within 5 to 10 minutes. All the participants are joining here. And welcome to Dr. Vipin Sharma here with us on this fifth session of this FTP.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So we can wait within 1 to 2 minutes. After that, we will start. Today's topic for faculty development program of fifth session of this FDP is statistical analysis using Excel, a way towards education. It is representing by Dr. Vipin Sharma, Associate Professor from Chandigarh University. Nadeep sir, can we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please
Yes.
start.
And good morning, sir. We welcome here for being with us today Dr. Vipin Sharma from Chandigarh University. He is Associate Professor and he will discuss the ideas for the fifth session of this FTP, that is statistical analysis using Excel, a way towards education. I will give some look on the achievements of the Vipin Sharma sir. He is Associate Professor from Chandigarh University and he did his PhD work on regional trade blocks in South Asia and his specialization on microeconomics, macroeconomics, mathematics and statistical for economists, econometrics, mathematical, economics and international economics. And welcome sir, welcome to you on the behalf of the GGSET family on this event, that is faculty development program. Sir, can we start here on this today's session?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I would like to thanks the whole team, whole organizing team at Guru Kasi University.
Thank you,
So I'm grateful to have this session. I'm grateful to be the part of this FDP organized by this college, GGS, the Engineering Technology, Guru Kasi University. So thank you once again for inviting me here to interact with the peers present over here. So let me share my PPT and let me show you the coverage of today's session. So let me share. Ma'am, can you make me host?
Yes, sir. Yes. Nadeep, sir.
Sure, ma'am.
Sure. Vipin, sir, sharing his PPTs and make him host, sir.
So I think today your previous session all are on theoretical basis. So today I'm not going to bore you. So I will discuss practically. I will discuss how we can use various statistical tool using this basic software. I'm not discussing SPSS. I'm not discussing Stata, eViews, and all. So I'm discussing this basic software, that is MS Excel. We can analyze or we can use all statistical tools using this basic software. So I am going to discuss only the calculation part, only the practical part of statistics in this software, MS Excel. So let me share my screen. Yes, is it visible? Dr. Rachna, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your PPT
Okay.
is visible here.
So we have already discussed, Rachna ma'am already mentioned the topic. So I'm going to talk on this statistical analysis using Excel, a way toward education 4.0, right? So this is our coverage. So today we are going to discuss. I'm not here to teach you, right? So I'm here to interact with you. I'm here to discuss with you the basic tools of statistics with this software. So today we will cover the central tendency. We will cover the various method of central tendency. That is we discuss only the descriptive statistics, basic descriptive statistics, along with some other variables like other methods, like other measures like association and variability, right? So in this measure of central tendency, we'll discuss the mean, median, mode, how we can calculate mean, how we can calculate median, and mode, especially multiple mode or single mode or particular specific mode. Then we'll discuss the partition values like percentile, decile, quartile, and we'll focus only on the quartile because all partition values are almost same. The difference is only of the partition, right? So next we'll discuss the range in the second part, measurement of variability. We all know we have six methods to measure the variability, to measure the dispersion. We also discuss little bit theoretical part, little bit conceptual framework on the central tendency and dispersion. What is the basic difference between two? Why we need the second method? So range, then we'll discuss only out of the six given method, we only discuss the two: range, variance, and standard deviation. Right? We are not going to discuss coefficient of variance and all, and Lorentz curve and mean deviation and other remaining variables. Right? Then in the last part, we'll discuss the measurement of association, and we will cover only the association between two variable or more than two variable in terms of covariance, simultaneous variation of the two variable or more than two variable, and we'll discuss the relationship between the two, right? Two, like when one variable increase, another variable also increase. So we'll discuss the correlation. What is the correlation between two variable or more than two variable? So let's start with the first calculation of mean, median, mode. So let me share again the, let me open the Excel sheet. Yeah. So here the first topic is mean, median, mode. So how we can calculate mean, median? This is the basic lecture, basics of statistics, right? So how we can calculate mean, or what is the purpose of calculating mean? In your theoretical stat, we know to measure the central tendency, right? To know the central tendency, we have two methods: mathematical method, or we can call it as mathematical approach, and positional approach. And hope you all know what the mathematical means and what the positional method or positional approach means. In mathematical method, we have only mean, and under mean we have the arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean. We are not going to discuss all differently because in Excel no need to mention the arithmetic, geometric, and harmonic. Under the positional method, to measure the central tendency, to measure the mean or to measure the average, we have two different tools. One is median, another one is mode. Both mode and median are the positional measure, positional technique, positional method to measure the central tendency, right? So in statistic, in this Excel, to compute the arithmetic, geometric, or harmonic mean, or we can say to compute the average of the data, to get the single representative value for the class, for the set of data, we compute the average, we compute the mean, right? And here the command, here the technique, here the tool to compute this mean using Excel out of the given data. Like you can see in our A column, we have mentioned salary in thousands, and this salary vary from 15 to 89, 27, and up to 95 or 99, right? So our purpose here is our purpose here is to know the common value, to represent the whole class. Suppose this person getting 15,000 per month, 89,000 per month are our employees in our department, our colleague in our department, and on average basis we want to represent the whole department on an average basis. What is the salary which is all are getting, or what is the common value with the help of which we can represent the whole department on the basis of salary, in term of salary, right? So for that, in Excel the command is equal. And one thing more, whenever we use Excel to calculate, to analyze any data, all formula always start with this equal symbol, right? And here our purpose, here we are going to compute the mean. So for mean, the command is equal, type average, under bracket range of the data. And here you know range of the data is in column A, and from row 2 to C. row 17. So we can call it from A2 to A17. Why we call it as A2, A3, A4, A5? So nomenclature of each box in Excel start with column. That is, A denote the column and the number denote the row, right? So this value 15 is in A2. You can see in the formula here. A2, A means in A column, second row, and this range start and this range go to 17, A17. That is in column A, row 2 to A17. Bracket close. When we press enter, we will get the common value. This is the common value. This is the mean value, right? This is the mean value. So this is the command for computing arithmetic mean or geometric or harmonic mean to compute the single value or central value or common value of the data, right? Now to median, to compute the median of this from this value, to know the middle value of the series or median of the series, the command will be equal symbol, type the median, full word, right? Median under bracket, again the range of data. And here the range of data we know lie from A2 to A17. So type A2, you can type directly A2 is to A2 colon A17 bracket close, enter. Give us the median of the series. Is it okay up to this point? Now under mode, generally we know we need the single value, single most repeated number, but sometime we want to know the multiple mode. We want to identify what are the values which are appearing same time or occurring most time, but the number of repetition is same, value are different. Let's suppose in this value 15 may repeat 2 times, 15 may repeat 5 times, 89 also may repeat 5 times. But when we use the single formula, when we use the equal mode, we will get the single value. And that single value, if you go through the theoretical concept, go through the theoretical statistics, to know the single, to identify the single value when we have ill-defined mode, we use the grouping method. First we prepared the grouping table, then analysis table, and only then we can get the single value. But here in Excel, no need to prepare this grouping table or grouping analysis, right? Only you have to put the command and you will get the single value, right? So equal mode under bracket, the range of the data is A2 to A17. This is the command when you need only single value. Now if you want to know the actual position, actual values which are repeating most time, that is more than more than one value are repeating in this data, and the repetition is same for 2 different or 3 different number. In that situation, please note down, in that situation, or we can say to compute the multiple mode, we have 2-3 steps. First step is, first we have to select more than one cell. Let's say here we have data of 16 employees, right? Salary of 16 employees starting from A2 to A17, right? And according to our expectation, because this data is very limited data, in real life, data may be in thousand, maybe in lakh, maybe in crore, right? In that situation, we are not able to identify the particular number. We cannot visit each number individually, or we cannot make the guess that the 2 number or 3 number may repeat the same time. In that situation, based on our guess, based on our observation, based on our thinking, based on our expectation, we first step is we have to select more than 2 cell. More than 2 cell, it may be 3, 4, 5 based on your expectation, right? After selecting the more than 2 or 3 cell or more than one cell, without typing, without clicking anywhere, type the command, that is equal symbol mode, MODE dot MULT. MULT stands for multiple mode. under bracket the range of the data, and range of the data here in this Excel, in this A column, salary of in thousand, salary of employees in thousand, we have put data from A2 to A17. Clear? Bracket close. Now, this is our second step. First step was selecting the cells more than one. Second step is typing the formula, typing the command in Excel. Sorry, mult, M-U-L-T, right? So after this, third step or last step is we have to press three keys on your keyboard. First is press Control, then Shift, and then you have to press Enter simultaneously. Press Control. I'm pressing Control. Now I'm pressing Shift. Now Enter. See, these are the number repeating same time. These are the number 15 repeating twice. You can see 15 is here and 15 is also here. Then 89 is here and 89 is yes here twice, and 28 is also repeating twice. 95 is also repeating twice, right? In your theoretical stat, in your theoretical, when we are doing practically manually, in manually we have to, after getting such type of ill-defined, we can call it as ill-defined mode, when we have more than two mode, in that situation we use the grouping table and the grouping analysis, and then we get this single number 15, right? But here we can get this single number without using any table and these grouping table or analysis table. Is it okay for this? Yes, participant, please. We are like family, right? So we are only discussing. If you have any query here, we can discuss. Otherwise, let me move to the next step.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you. So now next is the range, or we can call it as maximum value, minimum value, and partition values, that is quartile, decile, and percentile. So why we need to know the maximum value, minimum value? As already been said in the previous slide, when we have data in very large number, there are values in thousand, lakhs. In that situation, to know the minimum value or lowest value, maximum value or highest value is very difficult if we want to know the range, right? So in that situation, we can use the command to know these two extreme values, minimum and maximum. So to know the minimum value, command is equal symbol, type MIN. MIN stands for, or MIN is the symbol to symbolize the minimization, minimum value given in the data. So MIN under bracket range of the data. You can see this data that is on CGPA of the various student in a class, live from A2 to A41, right? So we can select manually like this, we can select like this, or we can type the two extreme number, two extreme boxes, that is A2 colon A41, right? So now bracket close, enter. It will give us the minimum value. 1.684 is the minimum value in this data, right? Now the maximum value. To know the maximum value, command will MAX. MAX stand for maximum. Under bracket the range, and we know range is A2 to A41. Clear? Enter, you will get the number. Now you must know the range. So I'm not discussing range here over this slide. I will discuss range on the next slide when we discuss the dispersion. So next is partition values. In partition values, we have quartile, we have decile, we have percentile. So may I know what do you mean by, or how many quartiles are there in a series? Yes. How many quartiles may be there in a series? Anyone, please. Let's make this session interactive session, please.
4, sir.
Sorry. Yes, Rupali ma'am.
4.
4. No. So let me discuss. So let's discuss in a layman's language. Suppose we have a stick and we want the 4 part of stick. Basically quartile. Quartile means 4 quarter, right? 4 section. And suppose we have a stick and we want to make 4 small sticks out of the single stick, right? So to make the 4 part, we need to cut this single stick in 3. We need to make 3 cut, right? We need to make 3 cut, and these 3 cut will give us the 4 stick. For example, let me explain with this box. Suppose from H box, from H, this H to K. Let me sorry, from H to K. See this highlighted section. This H to K, we have 4 sections, right? H box, I box, J box, and K box. So these are like, this is our single stick starting from the lower part of H cell and upper part of the K cell. And now we want to make the 4 equal part of this single stick or this single box, right? So to make the 4 equal part of this whole series, we need to make 3 cut. First cut must be between H and I. H and I. This part known as quartile 1. And this first part will cover the 25% of the series. Now second cut is in between I and J. This line, you can see this line, second line. And this second line cover the whole series into 2 equal parts. And this quartile or this line, this divider, cover the 50% of the series. Now third divider, third cut will be in J and K. Will be in J and K, and this third cut will cover 75% of this series, and 25% is above this cut. So basically quartile or percentile or decile or this partition values are nothing but the divider of the series. If we want a series, if we want to divide a series in 100 equal parts, we need 99 parts. That is 100 minus 1. If we want 10 equal parts of a series, we need 9 dividers, 9 points, which divide the whole series into 10 equal parts. And these dividers, sometimes known as quartile when we divide into 4 sections, sometimes known as percentile when we divide into 100 sections, sometimes it is known as decile when we divide into 10 sections. Is it okay? Yes, is it okay? Clear? The concept
Yes.
of
Yes, sir.
partition. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now how we can calculate quartile or percentile, quartile, or I will discuss only quartile, right? Quartile in case of inclusive series and in case of exclusive series. So what is inclusive series? Hope everyone know the difference between inclusive and exclusive. Inclusive basically means when we consider the both extreme values of the series. Exclusive when we consider the only one extreme values of the series. In continuous series, you must see this concept. You must hear or watch or saw this concept 0 to 9. Sometimes values are written in 0 to 9, 10 to 19, then 20 to 29, and sometimes are written as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, like this. So the second example is exclusive series, and first example is inclusive series. When we consider the lower part as well as the highest part or upper part of this series, known as inclusive, and second case is the exclusive series. Now how we can calculate quartile in case of using this software. So the quartile 1 in case of inclusive series, press equal symbol, then type quartile. Yes, quartile dot INC. INC stands for inclusive. Under bracket, the range of the data. And we know here in this column A, data lies from A to A41. I think A41. If am I right? Yes, 41. Now, after specifying the range, of the data, we have to specify which quartile we are going to calculate. Whether it is first quartile or the second quartile or the third quartile, right? So we have to specify. Press semicolon. In some Excel, in some version of Excel, comma is accepted, and in some version of Excel, the semicolon is accepted. No issue, right? You can try both. So semicolon, then we have to press 1 if we are going to calculate first quartile. So here in this, we are going to calculate first. So type 1, bracket close, enter. You will get the quartile. First quartile in case of inclusive series. And now first quartile in case of exclusive series, formula will be almost same. Only the difference is typing INC in case of inclusive and EXC for exclusive, right? So equal type quartile dot EXC under bracket dot EXC under bracket, range of the data we know A2 to A41, semicolon, first, bracket close, enter. See, this is the exclusive quartile. First, now the second quartile in case of inclusive series, type equal symbol, and second quartile always be equal to median. Same is the case with percentile. 50th percentile always be equal to median. 5th decile always be equal to median. So we can type median, or we can make a equation median equal to Q2 equal to P50 equal to D5. So type quartile to compute the second quartile in case of inclusive under bracket, range A2 to A41, semicolon, type 2 because our purpose is to know the second quartile here, bracket close, enter. This is the second quartile. Now to validate the equation, we can compute the median of this. We can compute the median. See, if I calculate median here, median of the series, median of this value written in A2 to A41, you can check. See, this value written in K9 and value written in D9, both are same. Clear? So median and quartile second is always remain same. Now the calculation of third quartile or calculation of second quartile in case of exclusive series, only the difference of EXC, right? So I'm skipping this. Now quartile 3 in case of, let's say let's compute the exclusive series, third quartile, type QURTIL dot EXC under bracket, the range A2 to A41, semicolon, 3, bracket close, enter. This is the third quartile in case of exclusive series. Is it okay up to this? Yes, is it okay? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now third section, the dispersion. So let me discuss why we need to use the additional tool of statistics, dispersion. Why we calculate dispersion? What is the purpose behind it? So when we represent the whole class with single number, that is central value, central tendency, that is mean or median or mode, right? That representation of the whole class may be not proper or may mislead us. It may be injustice for us for a person or for a student or for a two, right? Let's take example of a class. Let's suppose we have 5 students in a class, and all are appearing in final exam, and one out of these 5 got 99 marks or 99% in the final exam, and one student got 45 marks, third got, let's say, 67, and fourth, let's say, got 35 marks. See, this is the performance of class, individual performance of class. Now we want to represent whole class with a single number. We want to know the central value. We want to know the mean. Now see, here we calculate the mean, average average under bracket these 4 values 61. See 61 is not proper for 99, not acceptable for this student who got 99. This is injustice, misrepresentation of this student 99. There is an error when we call our student, my class has 61.5% score in the final exam. Representation of this class by this particular single number may mislead the result. It is an injustice for the student who are on top. This may mislead the representation, right? So to avoid this mislead, to know the actual value, to know the actual distance between the individual value and the central value, to know this difference, let me use this pencil here, to know the difference between this value from this individual value to the central value from this value, we need the second tool of statistics, and this second tool of statistics known as dispersion. Dispersion is nothing but scatteredness of the values around the central value, or in layman's language, it is the distance of individual value and the central value. So this range basically is the dispersion. So our purpose to know the range, our purpose to know the variance, standard variance, because this range, standard variance is nothing but various tool, various method to measure the dispersion, to measure this gap, this range, right? Am I clear here? Yes, is it okay? Why we calculate dispersion? To know this gap. And to know this gap in statistics, there are 6 different methods: range, interquartile range, deviation, standard deviation, coefficient of variance, Lorentz curve. So we are not going to discuss all, only range, variance, and standard deviation. 3. So what is range? How we can calculate range? Range is nothing but the distance between, or difference between, the highest value and the lowest value, maximum value and the minimum value. So to know the range out of range in this data, we can use this command. See, so we can use range, that is maximum value minus minimum value is nothing but a range. This is the range in point. It is in point, right? This is the range 8.248, right? Clear? So now let's move to the next variance and standard deviation. Now in Excel we can compute variance directly, that is using the direct command, direct method in Excel, as we did for mean, median, mode, quartile, maximum value, minimum value. But sometime in while writing research paper, or doing work on any particular research, we need to know the actual distance between the individual value and the central value. We need to know the square of the error. So this error is nothing but the deviation in manual way or theoretical set. we denote this error, or we write, or we use the word for error, deviation. Deviation, you can write deviation also here. So deviation is what? Deviation is nothing but the distance of actual value from the central value, that is xi minus, we can write this deviation as xi minus x bar. Clear? So x bar is nothing but the mean value, average value, and xi is, I stand for 1, 2, 3, 4, the number of observation, right? If we have 5 observation, then x will be x1, x2, x3. We can write this value as x1. This value we can write as x2 and so on, right? So x minus x bar, when we calculate this distance known as error or deviation of individual value from the actual mean. Clear? So, and square of this deviation is known as square of error. So if we want to know the error and square of error, in that situation we will have two methods to compute variance and standard deviation, both in case of population and in case of sample. Clear? So we will discuss on both the first method, indirect method, and the direct method. First method will be boring, I think, for you or for the research, for the who are new in this field, may be boring, but it will give us very technical way to learn. So first we will calculate the deviation, and to compute the deviation, to compute this error, we need to calculate x bar, that is mean. So here we will calculate the mean, type average, under bracket the range of this data, we can select manually like this, enter. So this is the range, this is the average or the mean value. Now to compute the deviation, or error, we can select this value, because our purpose is to calculate the distance between this individual value and this central value, minus mean. Mean here in this case is this value written in C1. So click here. Now see, this mean is common for value written in A4, that is 2.393, and this mean is also common for 4.5, 2.1, 9.9. That is, this common value, this mean value, this average value, central value is common for all value written in A column, right? So instead of typing this formula again and again, we can make this C as a reference value. We can convert it as a reference value. We can convert, or we can fix this value, so that the only first part will change in the coming columns or coming rows, right? So for that we have to press, please note, to make this C1, or to make this central value as a fixed value, to make it as reference value, we have to press F4 on the keyboard. F4. When we type F4, or when we press F4 on the keyboard, this value get converted into dollar form, $C, $1. It means we have converted it in a reference number, as a reference number. That is, when we extend this formula, sorry, F4. So when we extend this formula, see here, please. See, when we extend this formula, yes, when we extend this formula, first value of this formula will change, and the second value, that is $C, $1, will remain constant, will remain same. And to extend this formula for the remaining rows, we can double click on the cell handler here. You can see the cell handler, this plus sign. You can double click here, or you can drag like this, right? You can drag like this, you will get the same, or you can double click here. And now click anywhere. See, let me click on the second. See, A5. Now the first value is not A4, rather it is A5, and second value is same. And same is the case with this. First value is A11 and second value is same. Clear? So this is the error or deviation. Now we need to know the square of the deviation. That is square of these value written in B column. And for that, type equal symbol, click on this value because we want the square value of this, square of this value. And to the symbol for square in Excel is this symbol. By pressing this symbol, we can get by pressing Shift and 6 on your keyboard, on the right, on your laptop or PC. Then type 2. 2 stand for the square, and press enter, give us the value. And now we can extend this square the remaining value. Now, so now we have error, we have deviation, we have sum of not sum, we have square of the deviation of individual value from the actual mean. Now, based on this information, we can calculate variance of population. When we have square of deviation, the variance of population is always be the average of the square of error. Average of the square of error. That is average of the value written in C column starting from C4 to C13. So here, when we use this formula average under bracket, the range of the square of error, and we know range of square of error is from C4 to C13, C4 to C13, bracket close, enter. We will get variance of population based on our given square of error or deviation. It is known as, this process known as indirect method of variance of population, standard deviation of population, variance of sample, and standard deviation of sample. Clear? Now, when we have variance of population, we can calculate standard deviation of population. Whenever we have value of variance of population, we can calculate standard deviation of population by using the square root of the variance of population. Or we can say standard deviation is nothing but square root of the variance of population. And vice versa is also possible. When we have standard deviation of population, we can calculate variance. Square of the standard deviation is always the variance of population. Clear? So now we have variance of population. We can calculate standard deviation by using this square, root command here. And this square root command, for square root formula is, command is SQRT. SQRT stands for square root under bracket the value of variance of population. Click here, bracket close, enter. This is the standard deviation of population. Now, please note the step to compute variance of sample using this indirect method. This is for a little bit different. Now, you know, I hope everyone have done practically the calculation part of this variance standard deviation in your graduation, post graduation, in your PhD. So variance of sample command, manual command for variance of sample is sum of the square of deviation taken from actual mean divided by n minus 1. So here we'll use the same. So for that, formula will be, please note down the formula if you can. Equal symbol, type SUM for the sum total under bracket. Sum total of what? Sum total of square of the error, square of the deviation taken from actual mean. And we know square of the deviation is in C column starting from C4 to C13. So type C4 to C13, clear, bracket close. Now up to this we get the upper part. Up to this we get the numerator. Now we have to divide this sum total by n minus 1, and n is nothing but the total number of observations, total count. So for that we have to press division symbol, we have to use division symbol, and now under bracket we have to write, we have to count the observation. So type count, COUNT, count of what? Count of the value written in C column. Bracket again bracket, and now select the range C4 to C13, bracket close. Now type or press or type again the same double bracket. Now up to this, from this division symbol to the last bracket, we get n. This is our n, number of observations, right? And we need to n minus 1, so minus 1. Now again bracket, again bracket, sorry, yes, is it okay? Enter. This is as variance of sample. Now you know standard deviation of sample. When we have value of variance, we can calculate very easily standard deviation by using this square root. Equal symbol, SQRT, this value, and so this is the first method, or we can call it as indirect method to compute the variance of population, variance of sample, standard deviation of population, standard deviation of sample. But when we need only the final value of variance of population, standard deviation, and the variance of sample and standard deviation of sample, no need to use this process of calculating variance, standard deviation, square, and using this, right? So you can calculate directly using the direct method, and this direct method will give you the same value. So this column H and I will give you the second method, that is direct method, and for that the formula will be VAR dot P. P here is for population, under bracket variance, that is VAR for variance, dot P. P stands for population, the actual range of the data, and actual data lie in the A column starting from A4 to A13. So type A4, A13, bracket close, enter. See, both value written in this I3 and F3, both are same. This value in written in F3 is calculated using the indirect method, and this is with the help of direct method, right? So now standard deviation of population. Is it okay? Yes. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can continue with.
Okay. Thank you. Now standard deviation of population. Formula will be STDEV dot P for population. Same range A4 to A13, bracket close, enter. You can see the value both are same in I6 and I5 and F5. Same case, same will be the same with this variance of sample. So VAR dot S here is for sample, range A4 to A13, bracket close, enter. See, both value will same. Now the standard deviation, again formula STDEV dot S, under bracket A4 to A13, bracket close, enter. See, they both are same. Is it okay after this? Now can we move?
Sir.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. You can move.
Thank you. Now the next. Yes,
If
please.
If participants want to ask any type of the question from Dr. Vipin Sharma, then you can ask regarding your previous view.
Okay.
If nothing, then sir, you can start now.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So here we can forecast. This is the forecasting. Suppose we have two variable. We may have the consumption expenditure with different family. But here in this data, we have distance covered by different vehicles with different spending, with different cost. Uh, in column A, we have distance covered, and in column B, we have total consumption. So to cover 1 kilometer by, let's say, vehicle 1, spending is 35 rupees. And for vehicle 2, same coverage cost is 13 rupees. For next, to cover 2 kilometers, spending is 20. We can take also the second example. I think that will be the easier part. Suppose we have different family. Suppose we have different family and family expenditure, and we know according to our classification we have rich family, we have middle class family, we have uh, upper class family, rich family, right? So we have three sections: poor, middle, and rich family. And family member may be same in rich, poor, and middle class family. Suppose here in H column we wrote family, and here we can use consumption expenditure, right? Consumption expenditure. Now suppose first family is our rich family. Let's say first family is rich family having two family member only, and the expenditure in a month, we are considering the expenditure of a family in a month. And in this family with two family member, expenditure is let's say 1 lakh, or let's say uh, 80 98,000, right? And we have the second middle class family with same size, with same family size, that is two family member, and they are spending just 45,000, right? And on the other hand, we have poor family with the same family size, and they are spending just 10,000 in a month. Clear? Is it okay? So these value written in column A and B are like this. We have different class, different vehicle with different mileage, with different expenditure, right? Same, we may have three family members spending 15,000 or 15,000. We may have again family with two family size, two family member spending, let's say 25,000. So based on this data, so based on this data, this is only the generation of the creation of data like this. So now we are not going to discuss this. Let me remove. Now based on this information, this is our past experience. Now based on this experience, let's suppose we want to know what will be the total spending if we want to cover, let's say, 115 kilometer or 115 minutes. If we want to cover this distance, what will be the expected expenditure? What will be the forecast about the amount to be spent on this coverage? So for that, to compute to know the future value, we can use this command, press equal type type forecast under bracket. Now we are going to forecast about what, on what basis. So here our input value is 115. So we want to know what will be the expenditure when we covered, or when we will cover 115 kilometer or 15 miles, right? So we can select this. This is our input value. then comma or semicolon. Now we have to specify our dependent variable and independent variable, right? Dependent variable and independent variable. First we will write the given value, that is value of miles distance, right? This independent variable, then again semicolon, value of the dependent variable. We want to know the expenditure in rupees, bracket close, press enter, you will get the result. So this will be the cost. Now we can use any number, suppose 200, press enter, you will get the expected cost. You can use, you can type, you can use say 15, you will get the number. So this is the forecast, how we can forecast if the value of variable one or both dependent and independent variable are given, and we also have given the input value. In that case, we can forecast the value. Clear? So now let me move to the next. Is it okay up to this point?
Yes, sir, you can move forward.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, next is the variance, covariance in case of two variable or in case of more than two variable. And here we have this value, variable x and variable y. And this is the formula written in F and G column. This is the formula which we use in calculating the covariance when we are calculating, we are using the manual way, right? So here we are going to use Excel to compute this, and for that, please note the formula. We will discuss this part. First, we will calculate the deviation of x variable taken from the actual mean of x, and the deviation of y variable taken from the actual mean of y variable. That is product of the deviation of x from mean and the deviation of y from the mean of y. Clear? So here formula will be, and one thing more, here in this formula we'll calculate the mean value in the formula itself. We are not going to calculate mean separately. We'll calculate mean in the formula itself, right? This make the process easy. Now, first is the first value is, see, first value is the x1 minus mean of x, right? So x1 is a1, or sorry, a2, or click this. Now this is our, you can see this a2 is this x. Now from this x we have to subtract the mean. So press this symbol, minus symbol, this symbol, then again under bracket, again under bracket, sorry, before bracket, type average, because we need mean, and mean is nothing but the average. So average of what? Average of the value written in A column from A2 to A11. So A2 to A11. Now, and this mean is common for all value written in column A, for 7, 2, 3, 5, 8, 1, and so on, right? So for that, we have to make it as a reference value. And to make it as a reference value, we have to convert A2 and A11 as a reference, as a dollar form, in a dollar form, right? To convert in a dollar form, we know we have to press F4. And here also we have to press F4. Then bracket close, again bracket close. Now press enter. So up to this we have this x minus x bar in bracket. X is our A2 and x bar is average under bracket A2 to A11 in dollar form, in reference form, right? Now for second variable, that is B2 minus average minus average under bracket, and under bracket we know the range of B2 from B2 to B11. So B2, press F4 to make it as a reference value, then is to B11, make it as a reference value to by pressing F4, bracket close, again bracket close. Now we have the x minus x bar into y minus y bar. Press enter, you will get the result. So this is the covariance between 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Now we can extend this formula to the remaining values. Now our purpose here is to know the covariance. What is the covariance, right? And for we have this value x minus x bar, y minus y bar. We don't have, up to now, we don't have this sigma and this value. And you know, whenever we have sigma, let's say small x by n, this will give us the mean. This will give us the mean, right? And in this case, we have the small x into small y. This will give us, when we use the average of this product of deviation of x taken from x, mean of x, and deviation of y taken from mean of y, we will get covariance between x variable and y variable. So to compute the covariance, we can use this. So let me type here. For covariance, we can use command this average of the covariance, individual covariance of individual value of x and y. That is from C2 to C11, bracket close, and you will get this minus 48 is the covariance between variable x and variable y. Is it okay? Clear? Now let's move to the next. When we have more than 2 variables, when we have 4 variables, 3 variables, and we want to know the covariance, right? In that situation, just a yes. So in that situation, so let me remove. Yeah, here we have 4 variable x, y, z, a. And suppose we want to know the covariance between these all 4 variables, and for that we can prepare a matrix. We are combining 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, and 2 by 1, 2 by 3, 2 by 2, 2 by 3, 2 by 4, like this. That is, this box, this particular box will discuss, will cover, or will calculate covariance between x and x. And you know, when we calculate covariance between the same variable, variation will be, yes, variation will be, so we'll check, don't worry, we'll check x, and in this we will compute the covariance between x and y, and here x and z, and here x and a. See, in all these different columns, the first variable is same, x is same, only the second variable is changing, right? So by this observation, we can use single command, and we can extend the single command for the remaining columns. And for that, we can fix, or we can make the first variable, that is first part of the bracket, as a reference, and second part as a normal value, right? And that we can extend to the remaining columns, right? And here will be y and x, y and y, y and z, and so on. Same is the case with z, same is the case with z. A. Clear? So now let's discuss the column, discuss the formula. So here formula will be covariance, let's say for sample, we can use sample, covariance for sample, under bracket, since in this column we are comparing x with x, right? Same variable. So value will be A2 to A11, A2 to A11, semicolon, that is the second part of the bracket, again A2 to A11. We are calculating, we are observing, we are analyzing the variation between x and hypothetical x, we can say hypothetical x, and that hypothetical x is 100% same as the actual x, right? Now, as we already discussed, this column, this row will be same, that is first part of the bracket in this row, that is A2, will remain same. So we have to make, or we can make, or we should make the first part of this bracket as a reference value. So for that, we can convert this in A2 in dollar form, in reference form, and this also in reference form. Then bracket, enter. Clear? Now if we want to convert this, if we want to extend this formula to the remaining variable, we can extend very easily. See, in this, the first part is same, only the second part is changing. In this, in J1, J2, sorry, J2, first part is same, that is x variable is same, only we are comparing, or we are considering the combination of x and j. Same is the case with a. Now for y, type covariance dot s under bracket. Now we have to make the value of y, or value of the value written in B column as a reference number, reference value. So, and we know the value of y is in B column starting from B2 to B11, again press F4, semicolon, and we are comparing B or y to x, and value of x is in A column starting from A2 to A11, bracket close, enter. This is the covariance between y and x, not x and y and x, and we can extend this to the remaining, right? No need to type formula again and again. Same is the case with z. Here z will be the reference value or reference variable, and x, y, a, and hypothetical z will be the normal values, right? For that value of z written in C column starting from C2, press F4, C11, again press F4, then colon, then A2, we are comparing this, in this particular box we are comparing z with x, so value of x is in A2 to A11, bracket close, enter, and we sorry, forget to type covariance dot s. Yeah, we can extend this, right? Same with this covariance dot s under bracket. Now a will be the reference value, or the a variable will be the reference variable, and remaining will be the normal variable. So value of a variable written in D column starting from D2 to D11, and then A2, A11, bracket close, enter, and we can extend it. So this is the covariance when we have multiple variables. In that situation, we can use this matrix, we can prepare this matrix, and we can calculate the covariance. Is it okay after this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. And next, and hope it will be the last. If we ignore the sampling, it will be the last. So multiple correlation or correlation, simple correlation. Simple correlation we can use for simple correlation we can use the same. So for simple correlation we can type the command for correlation. So I'm using the variable x and variable y. We have two variables and we want to know the correlation between two. And for that, command is this correlation. And for correlation, command is CORREL, CORREL under bracket the first variable and second variable. First variable and second variable, or we can use second variable and first variable. There is no difference between the the correlation between x and y or y and x. The result will be same because there is no such type of relationship like cause and effect. Both are mutually related. We cannot call it as dependent and independent variable. So first variable semicolon the second variable, enter, will get the results. So this is the correlation between two variables, right? Now for multiple correlation, we can compare the matrix. Yes, matrix as we did in our covariance, multiple covariance or covariance when we have multiple variables. Same is the case with multiple correlation. Here we have same four variable and we can calculate CORREL under bracket. So now again we are comparing one by one, x by x, x by y, x by z, x by a, right? So the technique will remain same. The bracket part will remain same as we did or as we used in the previous slide, right? So correlation between x and x, hypothetical x, and value of x will be in dollar form, in reference form. So one value is the value of x is in a column starting from A2 to A11 again. So type A2 and convert it into dollar form to make it as a reference value. Then A11 again convert it into reference number, semicolon, type the hypothetical value A2 is to A11 and you will see the value of correlation will be same. That is, if value of actual x increase, value of hypothetical x will also increase in same proportion. That is, there is 100% similarity because we are generating the similar number. We are generating the hypothetical number, it will 1. So this is 1. Now we can extend this to the remaining. Clear? And since we already discussed that the correlation between x and y always equal to correlation between y and x. Clear? And we will observe this similarity. We will observe this similarity in this matrix. We will observe this similarity in this matrix. So let me explain. Let me discuss first. Now calculation of this y with remaining variable. Y with remaining variable. So correlation CORREL under bracket value of y which is in B column B2 to B11 semicolon A2 A11 bracket close, enter. This is the correlation between y and x. Clear? Now in this particular box or in this particular relationship, z will be the reference variable and other variable will be the common variable, right? So CORREL under bracket the z variable which is in C, C2 to C11, F4, semicolon, the second variable, that is A2, A11, bracket close, enter, and we can extend this the remaining. Now the last, A with remaining variable, relationship of A with remaining variable, A will be the reference number, reference variable. So C_REL under bracket D2, because the variable A lie in D2 to D11, semicolon, and A2 is to A11, bracket close, enter. Now see this diagonal part. See this diagonal part. All values are, let me use, sorry. This diagonal part, all are 1. 1 means 100% similarity. 100% similarity. And now see this. Now see this value and this value. See, both are same. Why? Because here we have X and Y. That is correlation between X and Y. You can think this like when we multiply 1 by 5, we will get 5. Same when we multiply 5 by 1, result will be same. Same is the case here in correlation X and Y, Y and X. So here correlation between X and Y, that is X is the primary variable and Y is secondary variable. And here in this case, correlation between Y and X, here we are considering, or we are giving more importance to Y and less importance to the X. We can say, right? But result is same. Same is the case with this value and this value. Same is the case with this value and this value. Is it okay? So this is all about the correlation. Now last, sampling. How we can draw the sample size if we want to analyze the population based on the given sample. So let's suppose this is our sample. This is our sample, and let's suppose this is only one variable. These are not this data written in column A, B, C, D are not different data, or not about the different variable, only single variable. Let's say the consumption. This is the consumption written in A column, B column, C column, and total values. So out of this total value of 40, I think values are 40. Yeah. Yes, 40. Out of 40, suppose this is our universe and we want to compute the sample size of let's say 6 based on random sample. So how we can use the Excel to draw the sample? So for that, first we need to install the toolpack on the your Excel. So hope everyone have the toolpack. So should I discuss the how we can install toolpack on the Excel, or we can discuss directly how to compute the sample size? Yes, Rachna ma'am.
Yes, sir, as you are convenient.
If you want how to install toolpack on Excel, I will discuss. Otherwise, we can skip and we'll discuss the directly calculation of the sample size.
So you can discuss directly.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So for that, so let me remove first of all. For that, we have data. We have given this universe, and for that, we have to go to this data. Click on data. Now here we have installed. I have already installed the data analysis using the toolpack. Click here. Now when you click here, you can calculate or you can use all these techniques here to analyze the ANOVA, to use the ANOVA, to use correlation, covariance, exponential smoothing, F testing, Z testing, everything you have here, right? So for that, here we are discussing the sampling. For that, we have to click on sampling. See sampling here. Click on sampling, then click OK. Now here, when you click OK, new panel will appear, and in this panel, first you have to select the range. That is the universe range, the data range from which you want to draw the sample. Clear? So I want to draw sample from this data set. Clear? I'm ignoring the label, so I'm not selecting the label. I did not select the label here, so I'm ignoring the label. Now whether we are going to use periodic or we are going to use random. So as already discussed that we will discuss the random sampling. So I've clicked, we have to select this random. Now when we select the random, we have to specify the number, how many observations we want to draw on random sample basis out of the given universe, out of the given population. So here, let's say we want to draw the sample of 11 observation, right? Now, third part of this panel is about the output, whether we want to keep this calculated or this sample on the same Excel sheet or in the new worksheet or the new workbook. Generally, we use the same. Generally, we use the same Excel sheet. That is, I want the result. I want the sample on the same Excel sheet, and for that, I have to specify the cell, in which cell we want to place our sample. So I want to place my sample in, let's say, in this N. So yes, click here, and I want to paste the drawn sample in this N column starting from N1 and click OK. You will get the result. So these are the different values. These are the 11 values drawn based on the random sampling. So this is all. If you have any query, we can discuss. Otherwise, I've done. Thank you so much all for the cooperation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving these valuable ideas on statistical analysis. I hope we enjoyed all the contents that are prepared by you. And if any participants want to discuss any query regarding this topic, then kindly please ask from Vipin, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for being here with us and giving your valuable time for this FTP.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be part of this big platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ma'am, if there is no question, so may I leave?
Thank you, sir, for joining here and giving wonderful ideas and valuable ideas on statistical analysis. And we are thankful to you giving your precious time and valuable time for this event. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thank you so much. Should I leave, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. 5 minutes.
Okay. So let me stop sharing.
Okay. Navdeep sir, Atul sir, can we stop?
Yes, sure, ma'am. Sure.
Can we stop today's event?
Definitely.
You can say the host and leave the meetings for today's session.